You are fantastic. I am well. I just wanted to come in and say hello. I don't know why I'm so tired lately. I mean, I'm so tired. So I'm gonna go to bed early. I think I've been downloading a lot of information. I think it's part of that. I've got to like process it. So I gotta sleep. As usual, I'm not really remembering any dreams. But I do wake up with a lot of information in my head. Yeah, I mainly just came in to say hi to you, Andre. Yeah, I miss you. Who dat? Oh, it's Jesse. Hey, Jesse, how's it going? I don't know what my deal is today, Jesse. I'm so fucking tired. I'm like tired AF. I've been doing a lot of studying about my past lives. I don't know if I've told you about them all, but one was Joan of Arc. And it's so weird. Like, I know about all these past lives, but I've never studied any of them. So I was thinking about maybe studying up on some of my past lives. I was Joan of Arc. I was Genghis Khan. I was Birdman. I was Isis. I was Mary Magdalene. And I was Lilith. So anyways, those are the ones that I know of for sure that I've been pinging off of that I was. That I am a reincarnation of. And so I thought, I'm sick of reading tarot cards. They won't let me get on Facebook. You still haven't fixed that for me, Jesse. I tried it. They still won't let me go live. So, I mean, I can go live on YouTube. It's no big deal, but I don't know. This whole World War III thing is kind of getting old anyway. I'm getting bored of it. Because I can hear them planning a big fucking actual World War III. They're planning it. I can hear it. And I know that God can hear it. And it's not gonna fucking work. They're gonna be stopped. Somehow. I don't know how. Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's all these downloads. I think I'm just staying really. I'm staying tired. It's not bad though. It's not like I'm not depressed. I'm just tired. So that's good. I just need extra sleep, and it's not even that unusual because I went quite a few weeks there where I was only sleeping like 2 hours a night. So I probably do, in fact, need a little bit of extra sleep right now. Because it's weird. Like, I went from needing 9 hours of sleep to needing 2 hours of sleep to now I want about 12 hours of sleep in a day. I'm like, I could have gone to sleep at like 5 o'clock. I would have. If I wouldn't have been talking to a friend, I would have just gone to sleep a long time ago. But I hadn't talked to this person in a long time, so I stayed up till 8 o'clock to chat. Oh my goodness. So, but that was good. I was glad to be able to catch up. It's weird how I'm like shedding all this like skin of like old friends, old family, and then like soul families popping in that's like there's like memories of past lives. So they're like old friends, but they're not really old friends. They're new friends with an old vibe. Yeah, mine too. Because it's like weird because I'm awake at like yesterday, I think, or the day before. I don't know. I can't keep track, but like I went to bed at like 5 o'clock one night, got up at 2, went back to bed at 5, got up at 10. It's just like, and then I'm still tired. I still want to sleep. I mean, I suppose I could. I don't know why I don't, honestly. I should just get more sleep, probably. But I just, I'm kind of excited to be alive right now. I want to know what's going on. And I want to contribute in any way that I can to this shift and getting the shit show on the road. Because I'm over the old world. I'm so over it. I don't even want to step outside. At all. Like, not even at night anymore. I don't want to step outside. It's not that I'm scared. Because I'm not. I'm sure I could walk around all day long and everything would be fine. But the fact remains the same that what's going on out there, I do not like. I do not agree with. And I don't want to be a part of it. I just don't. None of it. I don't want to be a part of any of it. So I just go out on purely necessity basis. I've been trying to do more dancing and stuff like that to keep moving. Because I used to do a lot of bike riding and walking. But I definitely don't do that anymore. And I have no urge to anymore. Like a day or two, this is new. A couple days ago, I was ready to fucking go live in the woods at any cost. But I grounded that out, and now I'm like, I really don't want to be in the woods because I know what it's like to live in the woods with no gear. It's cold. It's wet. You're hungry. You still have to go into town. You're actually even more susceptible to shit from society when you're homeless in the woods because you have to deal with society to get food and shit. Like literally, the only way it would make sense is if I went out there to like die, not to try to survive. Cause yeah, it wouldn't quite work out that way. I know. I already know. I've already done it. I know how it works out. You end up flipping on the street. Yeah, of just going into the woods and being like, fuck it all. That was my last week, too. You probably got that from me, Jesse. Because I was ready to fucking... I literally... Because I can't... With warrants, I can't get on a plane. I can't get on a bus. I was literally this close to just bonsai missioning it and hitchhiking to the West Coast. I was this close. This close. And then I changed my mind. I do that a lot these days. I just go with the flow, so my mind changes a lot. One day I want to stay in a nice warm environment, and the next day I just want to go live in a tree stump. But today I just want to be in a warm, dry environment. That's the vibe today. The warm, dry vibe. It feels good. It feels like a blessing. Like a serious blessing. Because I've been cold and wet, and it fucking sucks. I have walked the streets all night long. I can't tell you how many times, because it was too cold and wet to not be moving. So I would just walk up and down Haight Street all night long. All the kids would. There'd be like 20 of us. It was like the mall walkers. We were like the mall walkers of Haight Street, but it was in the middle of the night all night long because it was fucking cold and wet. And they would kick us out. There was like a nice tunnel where we could be dry, but the cops would kick us out of it. And I'm not sure why it was so important to them that we were not dry and warm, but they did not want us dry and warm. So they would literally harass us out of all the places that you could be dry when it was raining, and they would literally be parading us down the street because it was the only place they'd let us be, is walking on the street. Do I sound like I'm bitching? I'm not trying to. They're just fuckers. They're fuckers. I don't know how many times I can say that and not come up with another story about why they're fucking such fuckers. San Francisco cops are assholes. Every single one of them was. Mind you, this was a long time ago, but I'll bet you it hasn't changed. And by the way, Dave, that video that you showed on your page of that one cop, I know him. The other cops in that video, I don't know, but the main one that was being paraded around, yeah, he was working as an undercover beat cop back then. He wasn't as fat back then. Or old, obviously. Oh, shizzle. Those cops were such pigs back then. God, they were so bad. Especially now that I know that they sacrificed my dog, I'm a little annoyed. A little more annoyed with them than I was. But Briggs told me that back then. He's like, I don't want to say it, Beth, but I think that, and I just I cut him off. I was like, no, I'm not going to think that. He's like, I know you don't want to think that. I'm like, you're right, I don't want to think that. I just wanted to think Mr. Bean found a nice home he was happier with than being homeless with me at the time. That's what I told myself. And that I was perfectly happy with that story until I started talking to all the San Francisco kids again. And it all came up. Started talking about those cops, and the next thing you know, I'm seeing my dog being sacrificed. My fourth dog to be sacrificed. Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable shit. Like, it's a good thing no one's sitting here with me. It's a good thing I'm alone telling these stories, because if I was in a room full of people, they'd be sitting there telling me I was fucking full of shit. That's unbelievable. No one could go through that much shit. You know how many times I've fucking heard that? I'm so sick of it. At least when I just talk to my phone, I can just freely talk about all the fucking times I've had my dog fucking sacrificed without somebody looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. Because just because my dogs have been sacrificed 4 times that I know of in my life doesn't mean I'm fucking crazy. It means I got a bunch of fucking crazies around me. What the fuck? And then I got people pointing at me like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with me? All my dogs are killed. All my friends are killed. All my boyfriends are killed. I'm targeted at every job I've ever had. Well, I wasn't at Expose, guys. Don't. That was a good job, but I just. Anyways, it's a long story, but it just goes on and on. And the minute I open my mouth about it, I look like I'm fucking crazy. Or like I just want to bitch all the time about everything. So I just shut my fucking mouth. They did a good job of getting me to shut my mouth. They made my life so wackadoodle that the minute I started saying anything, people would be like, really? It's just too outlandish. People thought I was fucking lying. It was too outlandish. That shit doesn't happen to people. It just doesn't. And even if one of the things that happened to me in my life happened to somebody, that's the only thing that will ever happen to them. But I've got fucking 5 of those stories that happened to me last year. So of course I look like a fucking lunatic. These people have made sure that my life is so outlandish that I cannot speak of what has happened to me and not sound like a fucking crazy person. That was their goal. And they accomplished it. Believe me. I don't think I know anybody that doesn't think I'm crazy. Maybe Jesse. And Andre. That pretty much sums it up. Everyone else thinks I'm crazy. It gets old. It gets really fucking old. Honestly. I don't know why I'm bitching so much. I'm annoying myself. I like to go with the flow and just be happy with what I have. I just haven't really been that lately. I'm just more like, fuck it all. Fuck all of you people. So over it. And I couldn't be any more over it. Like, I literally could not be any more over this shit. You can show me with scriptures that I'm Jesus. I know I'm Jesus, but... Oh, really? Maybe... Hi, Kareem. Maybe I really am Jesus then. I know I'm Jesus. I just kept on thinking it just didn't seem right about the sex of Jesus. But Jesus was a woman. Now it makes sense to me. I'm doing great. That makes sense. Okay? That makes sense. Jesse, yeah, I just don't have all the pieces. And literally what I do, and I was telling a friend about this today. God, and my intuition has always been an issue for me because I don't like to trust it. Okay, and so God and I had a conversation about this, and basically he said, it doesn't matter if you're wrong. Just fucking say it. Just go with it. Just go with the flow. He's like, and if you're wrong, I'll fix it. And God's never lied to me. So that's what I do. I just fucking throw spaghetti at the wall and see if it fucking sticks. And usually, the first time I throw it at the wall, it doesn't stick. But then I get more layers peeled back. And I swear to God, I'm always fucking right. I just don't know all of the pieces in the beginning. But I'm always right. It's just spotty at first. But then it comes in more and more clearly. And And I'm always right. Like, I don't ever backtrack and go, you were totally wrong about that. It just has never happened. It just has never happened. Like, even with my fake twin flame, I never, ever once proclaimed that I knew he was my twin flame. Ever. It was always I don't know. All I know is I didn't want to be with anybody else. That's all I knew. That was really the fucking gist of it. The last person I knew I loved was him, and I knew that I couldn't be with anybody else because I had tried, and it was not good at all. So, anyways, it just always boils down to, even in the places where I'm foggy, it eventually becomes clear. And even the places where it doesn't make sense at first, once a few more layers peel back, it does. It makes sense. Is that what my mom betrayed me for? My mom is Judas. I don't get that dedicating a woman to God is 30 pieces of silver. What's dedicating a woman to God? It is so quiet. One thing that I know now that I didn't know before, that is, because it's weird, everything comes so, like, in such small pieces, it's like it kind of sneaks up on you. But like for instance, who I'm reincarnation of, that stuff is stuff I've known all along, but I didn't know it well enough to claim it. And then one day I just was told enough times by God that I felt like I knew, well, that, and I was in direct connection with God. So I knew it well enough to claim it. But I'd already been told it so many times. And so, anyways, but lately I've been having like, it's just a knowing of who I was. And it's not even like, I'll have little snippets of like flashes, kind of like you talk about, Jesse. It's just like a picture. I'll see a picture in my mind of past lives, or maybe a few in succession. Looks like a movie, but not many. It'll just be like a snippet. But more, it's like I remember the feeling of who I was, and I just remember who I was. And I know, I don't know. I just know who I was based on the personality I was born with. Like, it just fit. And then it slowly built from there. But the minute I heard, when I was a kid, the minute I heard about Joan of Arc, I was like, I must be Joan of Arc reincarnated. Like, weird. And I've thought that my whole life. And I didn't even know who Joan of Arc was until tonight. I mean, I knew her name, and I knew she was a warrior, and that was it. I didn't know she was a warrior for France. I didn't know any of that. So I think that might be something I'm going to do, is start researching some of these people that I'm reincarnations of. And maybe I'll do little videos about that for a while, until I can get back on the warpath with Facebook. I mean, I can be on the warpath on YouTube too, but I At this, I don't know what's going on right now. I just know they're planning a war right now. And the more I call them out on it, the less likely they will be able to do any of it. Because if the whole world is like, if I tell the whole world, hey, they're planning World War III right now, they want to make a big, like, war game show. And then if they try it and they start it, like, people are going to look at them like, dude, like, we know what you're doing. This isn't a reactionary war. This isn't people protecting themselves. This is like flipping a game of Battleship. They're like, you fucking go first and then we'll go. It's a game that they're filming. So anyways, if I can just make sure to let everybody know this is the film that they're producing right now, maybe the public won't fall for it. And maybe they won't tune into it. If no one's watching it on TV, if no one knows about the bombs that are going off and the horror and the trauma that they're creating, if nobody's watching it and nobody's getting that fear from it, they're not going to be able to harvest that energy. Therefore, they are not going to benefit financially from their reality TV show, War Games, where they kill off our young people and call it entertainment, okay? The more people that know that this is what they're doing, that they're not protecting their countries, that they are not protecting their peoples, they are actually putting them in harm's way for a profit, the less likely that they will continue with these games. If they're not profiting from it, if people aren't watching their reality TV show, they will stop the war games. I guarantee it. It's supply and demand. It's basic economics. It's very basic. If there's no demand, there's no supply. You can't supply when there's no demand. There's no money to make a supply that there's no demand for. If no one's buying, no one's supplying. So don't buy their bullshit. Don't watch it. Don't let them sell commercials for their war programming. Make their war programming completely unprofitable. If there is no demand for that war game reality TV show, they won't make it anymore. And all of your young men and women will be able to come home with their lives and their limbs. It's really up to the public around the world as to whether this is the kind of entertainment that they want in their lives. And if it's actually worth the cost. It's a very high price to pay for something to watch after dinner or during dinner. You can entertain yourself in other ways. Trust me. You could do anything else. So that the world can be at peace. So the world can live as one. The only reason the world is not living as one right now is because of all of the world leaders playing fucking war in the sandbox. They're a bunch of fucking idiots. Children. And you all are paying them to do this. Every time you turn on your television set and watch it. Every single time. You're paying them to play war games in a fucking sandbox of the world. And that's all I have to say about that. So is that like a baptism? What is dedicating your life to God? Like to become a nun? Or was God walking the earth and was taking disciples? Is that Jesus's disciples were $30 or 30 pieces of silver or 50? You had to pay that to be one of Jesus's disciples? It's kind of what it sounds like. I was kind of feeling you were getting that, but I think it's more the Trinity thing, because I know who my twin flame is, and yeah, I already know who my twin flame is. I think you're Mary, and I think that Andre and I are Jesus and Mary Magdalene. So is Mary Magdalene actually a man? Or was Jesus gay? Or Jesus was a man woman and Mary Magdalene was a woman? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually working on getting some more downloads tonight on that. On everything. Everything is just it's kind of a weird vibe right now. It's like a void energy. Like nothing seems to be happening. Yet everything's happening. I think that the world's going through some kind of a healing process right now. I see green everywhere. I think it might be a time of healing. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciated that. It's really weird, Jesse, that mark in my eye is something that came after birth. I wasn't born with it. That's why I asked you if you were born with those marks in your eyes. Because mine came after birth. And I was told this weird story by somebody that I absolutely don't trust at all anymore. But when he told me the story, I believed him. Because he seemed to be somewhat intuitive. He did tell me a couple things that fucked me up, though. Like, he ended up being the enemy. But I didn't know it at first. Like, I had these two aliens that I used to talk to. And, I don't know if you'd call them spirit guides or whatever, but, like, they were these two little, like, green Martians. They look like grays, but they were neon green. They were just like in the cartoons. Those are my guys. And they cussed, and they were funny, and they were kind of like always around to talk to. And I told this guy about them. Andre, this was that guy that I dated right after you, that I ended up calling you with, that ended up being a fucking just a complete liar. I busted him with in a lie and basically just told him to get the fuck out. He was a complete scam artist. But either way, I told him about these guys that I talked to, these aliens. And he told me that they were actually the enemy. And I believed him. I was just like, really? Like, wow. I didn't know. Because he was like, yeah, and he told me about the grays and stuff. Because I told him they looked like grays. I don't know if I told him they were neon green. I don't think I did. But he just told me that the grays, that they were the enemy and shit. And I was just like, wow. And I thought about a couple things, and I thought maybe it was right. And I kind of just stopped talking to them. Like, literally, I just stopped talking to them. Looking back, I think that they are in the spaceship that's above me all the time. I think they're part of the Galactic Federation that I was talking to at the time. But I cut off communication with them because I wasn't sure who they were anymore. But he also told me, though, that because I was telling him, like, I was born with blue eyes, and somewhere along the line I got a brown mark in one of them. And he was saying that he saw something about how a demon or maybe probably a reptile at this point tried to enter my soul through my eye, was like trying to fuck with my soul somehow. And it marked my eye. And I don't know why, but that story rang true to me. And it still kind of does. Because it just doesn't make sense. Like, it looks like a birthmark on my eye, but I wasn't born with it. I got it later. The first time I remember really having it is like when I was like 3. So it came sometime before I was 3. But I wasn't born with it. So I don't know, it's just interesting. That's why I asked you if you were born with those marks in your eyes, because I was not. I don't know how I got it. The anima and animus? Okay. I will. I'll check that out. I you know, Jesse, I really don't give a shit what other people say about anything. Because anytime I have taken anyone else's advice on anything, I have regretted it. In a serious way. I don't even feel like telling a story right now, but I have stories about that. Like, in a serious way. I don't take advice from anybody ever. As a matter of fact, I don't even really read books. I don't really Google shit. I talk to God. And that's it. And yes, God does not always give me the answers I am seeking when I ask. He doesn't. It's weird because it's like a fucking treasure hunt that I'm on. And he'll give me clues, and that's it. Or sometimes he'll just straight up read me a fucking story. But it's never my choice on what God decides to tell me about. And he just wants me to figure it out on my own. But how I figure stuff out is not by reading books. It's not by listening to other people's opinions. Because I believe people are just flawed. People are so fucking flawed. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm the least flawed person I know. So I will only take my own advice. There's no point in me watching YouTube videos. There's no point in me reading books. There's no point in me having a conversation with somebody about what they think about my life. Because it doesn't matter to me. I have never been able to trust anything I've read or been told. So I just don't anyway. And especially when it comes to the twin flame shit. All that shit's fucking bullshit. All of it is. I haven't even decided for myself if the twin flame even exists. Like if there is a twin flame. I mean, obviously there's magnetic attraction and push and pull from people. Is there a soul that's been split in two or even three? I'm thinking three is my new understanding of it. But regardless of whether that's what it is or not, I don't know. I will never know until it's proven to me by God. But everything I've heard about the twin flame shit, I've honestly straight off the bat thought it was bullshit. Right out of the gate. Been like, that's bullshit. And I used to believe shit until it was proven to be wrong. Now I don't believe anything until it just is undoubtedly proven correct to me. Because, especially in a world of illusion, somebody can prove anything. I get that. I can prove anything I want to. I know how to. So there's no point in talking about anything unless it's to God. Yeah, it's garbage. It is. And not only that, Jesse, but let's really break it down. Let's really break it down. To what I believe. Bethism, which is the only religion I subscribe to. And I really don't expect anyone else to subscribe to it because it is my religion. It's my God. Yeah, I want to read more about, like I was saying, all of my incarnations. If I could get any information on that, that would be kind of cool. But even that information, it's not correct. Like, all of history's been doctored. The Bible's doctored. Everything's doctored. Anything that you read, anything that anybody tells you, you have to look at it and from a lens of what is it that they want you to do? What are they trying to manipulate you into doing? This is actually how I read people. I look at what their motive is. And that's how I can tell. Like, I can just tell what people are. Immediately, I can tell somebody's motives. And then everything they say after that, I can tell what they're getting at. And from that, what they're getting at and knowing their motives, I can usually break apart somebody's story and take out the shit that I know is bullshit and what's actually true from what they're saying. But that is true of everything and everyone. Like, everything's got to be broken down to motives. What's the motive? And then you look at what they're saying. And most likely, none of it is relevant. It is the Truman Show. I think you're looking for love. I think that's your motive. Yeah. Definitely you're looking for love. I mean, aren't we all? I mean, we kind of all are, really. And we obviously have a soul tie of some kind. So, you want love in your life. More love in your life, probably. You feel a soul tie with me. You definitely know I'm a true speaker, which intrigues you because nobody tells the truth. So, you realize we have a close soul connection of some kind. And you love me. So, you're inferring that maybe this is a twin flame relationship. So your motives is to get to the bottom of that. That's your motive. To figure out if I'm your twin flame or not. And to find your twin flame and to find your true love, whoever and whatever form that is. So is your motive to end my suffering? Is that what it is? Because I know you feel my suffering. Maybe that's why you're compelled to be there for me. How I know that God did not intend for us to be partners, at least in that way, is because God made me 100% loyal to people. And I am already betrothed to Andre. Like, God married us in the spirit. I would never break that. I'd rather be alone than to be disloyal to someone as pure of heart as he is. To anyone, really, but I'm learning to be disloyal these days to, like, my family and shit. But, that's how God made me. Like, there's no way. There's just no way. Like, even when it comes to, I don't know, even when it comes to the twin flame stuff, like, if he wouldn't have come along, I was perfectly happy just doing this mission on my own. And not that I meant like being completely alone on the mission, but not being in a partnership, just being, single. Because I really wasn't about being in a fucked up relationship again. But then God showed me that there was somebody already there for me that I already trusted. I already knew and trusted, and that he just was not available yet, basically, because he got fucked up in a. I don't want to spread his business, but anyways, but he's got a fucked up situation going on, and I don't care. I'm fine by myself. Like, I wasn't gonna be with anybody anyway until he came along. And he showed me so much love and respect and care that I know God gave him to me for that reason, to love me and to cherish me, and he does just that. And God would never show me that in Andre and then be like, no, but it's just a joke. Like, psych, that's not the one. There's another one over here. This, you being placed in my life, saying that you think that I might be your twin flame, is literally, the way I see it, is a test. It's a test from God to see if I will falter from what I know to be true. And that's that Andre and I are meant to be together. And he's always been there for me in every way. And for me to turn away from that would be against God, would be turning against God, and would be failing my mission. So ultimately, it's impossible. It's just impossible for us to be twin flames. It's absolutely impossible. Maybe in another dimension, another timeline, that's possible. Like I was talking about, like me thinking it being that it's a trinity, it's a triad. Like we are in this same, we do have the same Godhead, but you're at the top. And Andre and I are in the bottom two posts. We're the twins. You're the Godhead. You're the combination of us both. And we all three share the power. That would make sense. To have a trinity in the physical form here on earth to share power. So that one power didn't take too much. You know, couldn't get overzealous, basically. But, the only way there's just no way possible. There's no way possible. The only way possible would, like I was gonna say, but I still don't think it's possible, is if fucking Andre was dead. But first of all, he's immortal. He's not gonna die. And second of all, even if he was dead, like, I do not want to refocus on another person ever again. Ever. Once I promise my heart to a person, that's it. It's just it. There's no going back on that. I've been fucked up over Steve. Like, I literally just healed from fucking being loyal to Steve for 20 fucking 30 years or some shit. And he's been dead. Okay? Dead. And he wasn't even that good to me. Andre's good to me. So yeah, none of that would make sense. It's just impossible. It's gotta be something else that is causing you to feel that way. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just I know I'm married to Andre. That's all I know. I don't know much, but I know I love him. And that may be all I need to know. My heart can't betray. I don't have it in me. I may have it one time. When I was younger, I didn't feel like I could, you know, when I was a kid, like high school. I'm talking about one circumstance in particular. I don't want to bring up names. But, you know, like when I was a kid, like when I was in high school, and I didn't feel like I was necessarily going to be marrying the person, you know, I might have jumped out of relationships quickly and into others. But I don't do that anymore. That was when I was a kid. And now I don't even need a relationship. I'm leery to be in one, honestly, because I just got to the point where I learned to not be codependent on Steve from 30 years ago. I need to make sure that I'm not ever codependent again. So I'm not even really looking for... I just want Andre. I'm not looking for anything else but Andre. Sounds pathetic, I know. But it is what it is. I'm a loyal heart. Yeah, all things will be revealed in the end. That's right. I'm waiting on that ending, Jesse. I'm like, seriously. I don't know. Maybe I'm complaining too much. Time has been flying. I just gotta start a different project. A new project. I'm sick of my tarot cards. That was really fun, actually, for a while. But it's just not anymore. I don't know. Maybe I should make a collage with them or do an art project with them or something. They're just not fun like they are anymore. And I don't know. I'm going to start researching my incarnations probably and doing presentations. I wish I had a computer and I could do like, you know, like graphic arts and stuff, but I don't, so. And not only that, but I don't know. I don't know how to do that shit anyway. All right, well, I think I'm going to go. I'm going to lay down. It was good talking to you guys, though. Love you, Jesse. I appreciate your honesty because I felt that, and I didn't want to say anything, so I appreciate you saying something so I could address it because I didn't want it to get weird, you know what I mean? Because I really love you, and I just, yeah, I want to keep it friendly so that we can remain friends, and Andre won't be feel threatened by our relationship. You know what I mean? All right. Well, I will see you later. You take care. Love you, Andre. Have a good night.